Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anissa binti Mustaqim, matric number 2015736 from UNGS 2290, Knowledge and Civilization in Islam, section 23. As for this presentation video, the topic is about halal issue. So the issue that I want to talk about is issues with halal in bakery and pastry products. But first, let us know what halal actually means. Halal is an Arabic word that means allowed or authorized by Islamic law. It is most commonly referred to in English as food that is legal to ingest according to Islamic law. It refers to anything that is allowed in Islam in Arabic. Food and drink products intended for Muslim consumption must meet dietary requirements outlined in the Holy Quran, Hadith, and Sunnah. Muslims today are more exposed to varied components and processed food as a result of advancement in food technology and distribution. Another important issue for Muslim consumers is hidden substances from numerous sources. Because of the ambiguities in their food manufacturing, a precise distinction between halal and haram food products is not always attainable. The food industry responds to the consumers' wants and demands. Food is considered halal for consumption if it can be guaranteed to be halal across the food supply chain, which is not an easy task. Contrary to popular opinion, halal does not only refer to the absence of pork. Halal animals and poultry will be regarded haram or non-halal if improperly slaughtered or dead before slaughtering or slain in the name of anybody other than Allah. As a result, it is necessary to evaluate chef attitudes regarding confusing ingredients utilized in bakery and pastry application. This is significant since only a small amount of study has been done exclusively on pastry and bakery items from the perspective of experienced chefs. Then we move to the issues regarding with halal ingredient status. The majority of ingredients used in bakery and pastry items are processed. It is not as difficult to determine the halal status of meat and poultry as it is to determine the halal status of bread and pastry ingredients or products. For example, gelatin, which has long been employed as a gelling and forming agent in food. As a result, if the animals used to make gelatin are not deemed halal, either because they come from pig or because they were not slaughtered and managed according to Islamic standards, the gelatin is not suitable for Muslim consumption. Unlike other food service businesses that rely heavily on fresh products, the pastry and bakery industry rely heavily on processed components. The fundamental concern here is not so much the consumption of the processed product as it is the difficulty in determining the halal status of the ingredients since they are no longer in their original forms. Certain elements derived from vegetables and plants, such as flour and sugar, are not a major worry. However, certain ingredients, particularly those derived from animals, are a major concern. Stabilizers, emulsifiers, and conditioners are commonly employed in this industry to guarantee that product qualities and stability are maintained. Aside from the issue with the sauces, the components used in pastry items can be somewhat unclear, especially for individuals who do not have a background in culinary science. The next issue is the problem with pastry and bakery ingredients substitute. Each component used in pastry and bakery production has its own function and purpose. For example, a dough conditioner or improver is added to the dough to improve gluten development, aid yeast fermentation, and delay staling. Aside from dough improver, glycerin is one of the most commonly used ingredients in fondant or rolled icing. Glycerin, on the other hand, is a byproduct of soap production that comes from both animal and plant sources. As a result, verifying its halal status is nearly hard without halal certification, and rather than relying on substitutes, it is critical to obtain halal certified products. Jabatan Kemajuan Islam Malaysia, which is called JAKIM, acts as a halal gatekeeper in Malaysia, but the application is voluntary on the part of the manufacturers. This decision has resulted in a number of problems, including flaws in the entire halal food production system. Since many items contain questionable components have managed to slip through the cracks and never go through the required halal verification process. Thus, many components with uncertain halal status are commonly utilized in pastry and bread items, which are mostly consumed by Muslims. After that, there are some dubious ingredients used in daily pastry and bakery production that are connected to halal. Despite chefs' concerns about the number of dubious substances utilized in their daily pastry and bakery production, they continue to employ these items due to the difficulty in substituting and balancing recipes. However, Muslim customers who buy items from bakeries are likely unaware of the status of the components used in the products and continue to consume them because they put their trust in the vendors, who are themselves Muslims. Therefore, third-party bodies like Jakim are critical because they already have established protocols for determining a product's halal designation. Last but not least, to conclude, as a Muslim majority country, halal certification is critical to maintaining market share. It is nearly impossible to tell the difference between halal and non-halal products merely by looking at them because they are so similar. The fact that bakery and pastry materials are made up of artificial substances add to the difficulty of determining their halal status. This will eventually result in a demand for halal ingredients, encouraging ingredient makers to follow halal laws and ensure that their goods are halal certified. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.